to the midweek news on Aau TV, your trusted voice of higher education in Africa. My name is Jimaima Daladem Tuche.
And I am Ajiman Otredako.
In this week's headlines on higher education, Made in Wanida Symposium highlights Pan-African health research capacity.
Welcome to GTP Health and Safety Corner. If you feel like stepping out, remember social distancing. You might just save a life. Rock at home. Spaced out but still in touch. Check in on your loved ones and stay safe. GTP, timeless. GTP Health and Safety Corner. If you feel like stepping out, remember social distancing. You might just save a life. Rock at home, stay at home, stay safe. Wash your hands with soap and running water. Spaced out but still in touch. Check in on your loved ones and stay safe. GTP, timeless.
Okay, the West African Network of Infectious Diseases African Center of Excellence, WANIDA, organized its first hybrid symposium on infectious disease in an era of global change as a three-day event highlighted innovative multidisciplinary Pan-African effort towards building research capacity in Africa.
The Made in West Africa Network for Infectious Diseases WANIDA Symposium was held in Ghana from the 8th to the 10th of March 2023 to brainstorm on how to address health challenges in Africa. The three-day event was on the theme Infectious Diseases in an Era of Global Change, innovative multidisciplinary Pan-African efforts towards building capacity in Africa. It brought together participants from Niger, Ghana, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Guinea, and Benin, as well as local and global development partners, to deliberate and contribute to the thematic areas of the program, such as surveillance and preparedness for new pandemics, pathogenic basis of diseases and host responses, innovative disease prevention strategies and vaccinology, neglected tropical disease, and strategic malaria control and elimination. Speaking at the opening of the symposium at the West African Center for Cell Biology and Infectious Pathogens, Chief of the Laboratory of Malaria Immunology and Vaccinology, Dr. Patrick Duffy, said there had been a lot of progress in malaria vaccine development in recent years. He also added that Ghana had played a key role in showing the Mosquirix RTSS, which is the first vaccine recommended by the World Health Organization to prevent and significantly reduce life-threatening malaria in children, could be implemented safely and could benefit children. According to him, this vaccine in question has shown to be able to reduce clinical malaria in children. After the success of RTSS and others, a lot of efforts will be put in place to develop more effective vaccines and address other aspects of malaria, like malaria in pregnant women. A representative of the French National Research Institute for Sustainable Development, Mr. Nikai Tiku-Ndam, said that African leaders must focus on establishing industries focused on the development and research into the vaccines produced within the sub-region. According to him, there were many African research scientists across the world who had contributed significantly to development of WHO-approved vaccines. Therefore, it was possible for Africa to begin the production of safe and efficacious vaccines. Deputy Director in charge of research, West Africa Center for Cell Biology and Infectious Pathogens, WABIP, Dr. Peter Kojo-Kwashi, on his part said it was important for African countries to employ various technologies to address major health challenges on the continent while preparing for possible future pandemics. The symposium also featured an innovative science research competition that involved health students and researchers across the participating countries as a means of contributing to the pool of Pan-African efforts towards building research capacity in Africa.
Still on higher education, students from sub-Saharan African countries are threatening to abandon degree courses in Tunisia universities and colleges in a bid to flee to the North African country in the wake of the mass arrest of compatriots and racial violence.
The embassies of Cameroon and Côte d'Ivoire have asked their citizens to stay home while the Democratic Republic of Congo government has engaged with Tunisian diplomats on home soil. The government of Mali, Guinea and Côte d'Ivoire have also begun repatriation efforts to ensure the safety of their compatriots on Tunisia. Christian Kwangan, president of the Tunisian Association of Sub-Saharan Students, said that as of March 7th, at least 400 Sub-Saharan African students had been arrested in immigration sweeps by the police, and there had been about 30 racially motivated physical attacks against black African students over the past year. These xenophobic and racial assaults have ramped up in the past 2 weeks following comments from the Tunisian president, Kais Saied, at a meeting with national security advisors, reported on February 22 that successive waves of irregular migration may change Tunisia into an only African country that has no affiliation to Arab and Islamic nations. A readout of the meeting called for an end to this phenomenon, accusing hordes of irregular migrants of changing Tunisia's demographic makeup from an Islamic Arab culture to an African one. In a statement released on Sunday, March 5th, the presidency expressed astonishment that people considered his ideas racist. But Tunisian human rights groups have alleged an immigration crackdown was already underway, with a press release issued on February 16th by the Tunisian Forum for Economic and Social Rights, claiming it had documented 300 arrests of sub-Saharan Africans, says were arbitrary and ongoing. But Tunisian police have insisted to FTDES and others that they are lawfully implementing immigration legislation targeting immigrants living illegally in Tunisia without residence or work permits. In the meantime, according to a member of the executive board of AESAT who requested anonymity, it has become more difficult for all non-white and Arab foreign students to obtain a residency permit, with particular problems being faced by black Africans in Tunisia.
It's very quite, disheartening happening in the sub-Saharan African countries. But Ajiman, I would want us to talk about the progress of negotiations between the Student Union, the High Commission, the civil society organizations, and then the Tunisian government. How is the negotiation going so far?
Thank you, Jubama. What has to be known in this moment is, as you mentioned, a very disheartening story.
Exactly.
Because education has been globalized and students have the right to education and to educate themselves anywhere, whether being within the African continent or beyond the continent.
That's true.
In the condition whereby you find education being threatened by, let's say, in-country or cultural beliefs or statutes, that is where the issue is. And past by negotiations right now, the high commissions and student bodies and even NGOs or CSOs within Tunisia have tried their best to convince governments on why he should rescind on his firm stance, a very entrenched position to ensure that he inhibits this Islamic Arabic statute that is against immigration within Tunisia. This is a big blow, a big threat against human rights and education rights within Tunisia. And these negotiations have been proved futile because government has its stance to ensure that he arrests or he infringes on rights of students just to prove a point that he has.
Yeah, as of 7th March, I want to say something. I feel the situation is really getting out of hand. 400 sub-Saharan African students have been detained by the police during the immigration sweeps, according to Christian Kouang, who is the president of the Tunisian Association of Sub-Saharan Students. And he also reported that previously, in the previous year, there had been about 30%, or let me say 30 physical assaults against black African students motivated by race. Like, what has always happening? Why that amount of, that number of people going through such, disheartening activity whilst on students? As you said, education is key, and these are like external factors that students are facing right now in those countries.
So basically, the inconvenience at hand is because we have, education shouldn't be bordered with these boundaries of culture or religion. Tunisia has its own sovereign cultural rights. That is understood. But even Dubai or Qatar, these are also religiously bounded places. During the 2022 World Cup, we had people move to Qatar, and the Qataris told them that, listen, you can't do A, B, C, D here because that's our laws. And people have to respect these laws, or else you suffer arrest.
That's true.
These are students who are in Tunisia there to pursue academic excellence.
That's true.
If there are any boundaries that concern your religion or your laws in the country, they are elites and they should be able to understand and abide by them.
That's true.
Regardless of all these things, if you pursue them or if you infringe them to any racial attack in the name of successive immigration for education, it means that you are trying to hamper globalization or global education, because they are there to pursue academics. And you are saying that because of successive immigration, your laws have been diminished or are being diminished. That's what the issue is.
Well, there is a statement here that was released on Sunday, 5th March, by the Tunisian President, His Excellency Kais Saied, expressed astonishment as people considered his idea for preventing Tunisia from becoming an African country that has no affiliation to Arab and Islamic nations racist as a result of successive immigration. Do you think his assertion or whatever he said can be termed as a racist statement?
Absolutely.
Oh, really?
And I'll say on this grounds that why are you threatened? Why is Islamic Arabic roots in Tunisia threatened by successive immigration? How does that threaten that background or that cultural strength of Tunisia? It is the beauty of Tunisia, or the right way to let them do the lesson. There is an Arabic Islamic country, and you wish to uphold a statute, and therefore, if anybody comes in, they should respect that it is an Arabic Islamic statute country. And that's yet by using that to hamper education and blaming that because of successive immigration, that foundation is being diminished. I think that it's quite racist and quite depriving.
Okay, so that is it for higher education. Health news is up next.
In our health news, new research shows that diets are less likely to be diagnosed with prostate cancer. This diet also improves their chances of recovery if they have prostate cancer and are undergoing radiation treatment.
Of food rich in certain micronutrients helps to prevent prostate cancer, PC, as well as speed up recovery among men who undergo radiation treatment for the disease. The findings from 2 studies published in the journal Cancers highlights the importance of a Mediterranean or Asian diet that includes these foods. Researchers compared micronutrient plasma concentrations of prostate cancer patients with a healthy